So as I did for studio, I know I'm seeing your faces. I'm seeing your
It's also
faces.
good to see you. We have somebody. We have Ibinabo Dixon. Hi, hi. Good morning to you.
Hey, hey, good morning to you. It's good to be here.
Of course.
Good to see.
So
It was sweet.
technology trash, but you know, they join us in the studio this morning, and you're looking, see my ladies now. Muna see, una they see things. Dear Panorama family, trust us. We're having a very, very important conversation today. I know you probably heard this one, but you've not heard the Panorama lady side. So you never hear the main side with that. You haven't still heard the main part. But bringing to you this salient conversation that we need to have at this time. My name is Esther Alaribi, and once again, you're welcome on Panorama. The phone lines are open 07000 917 917. So you're probably wondering what this conversation is on about. Now, the BBC recently pushed out a documentary after doing different series of on a particular founder of a church. Now, the church in that documentary as some of the acts that it was said that he had perpetrated during his lifetime. Now he's pastor. But this documentary has been pushed out. Documentary has been pushed out, showing different activities that the founder had carried out during his lifetime. And now the different conversations to say, though the man is late, there has to be something that the state, Nigeria, has to do. Issues do not happen again. And to also spotlight some other spiritual leaders who might have something like this ongoing, or people who are victims or survivors of such case, what compensation is going to be given to them. There are different sides of the conversation. Some other people are saying, why is the BBC coming out with this documentary not done in one day, and the result definitely will not come out in one day. So this man happened to pass on just before this documentary was released. And some people are also saying, so if he's passed on, what exactly are we supposed to be doing with the conversation? The man I know, the church is still standing. It still has and followers all over the places, and we don't know what kind of doctrines they've had all over the places, and we don't know what kind of doctrines they've had. But all the same, let's hear from the ladies. Bookie, what do you think about this
Okay, so what do I think about this
one?
one?
And what do you think should be, because this conversation really, I mean, the different acts of human rights violation that we saw in the documentary from part one, two, and three are not things that should be excused under any ground.
Absolutely. I remember watching, I think it was an interview, and there was a debate that is it the watching, I think it was an interview, and there was a debate that is it the dead person they will hold on to, or is it the church structure?
Mm.
Well, let's see what will come. Well, let's see what will come. But talking about the human right violation that went on, in that place, it should not be spared at all.
Mm.
Yes, I know the person who did it, I mean, is lying 6 feet down the ground. But then the church itself, the structure of the church, they need to be invited. There must be a board of trustees and things like that, whatever it is. We need to investigate, is this still going on?
Mm.
Yes, we know it's the wife that has taken over, but are some of these fundamentals still going on? And it's not just about the fact that we're talking about rape, but a culture that he must have put in. Because if you look at all the violations, you're talking about the right to live, and there was violence, there was slavery in it, you know. There was dignity of human person. I mean, they really dignified people. Or how do I put it? There was no dignity of life.
Okay.
Call it like that. There was no dignity of life, And then, of course, in terms of family and private life, they didn't have it because once you become a disciple, now we're talking about a disciple.
Mm.
There, should I call it maybe two or three different people that go into that? Maybe the pastoral people and whatever. And then, of course, the close aides. So we are talking about the disciples, but the followers. The followers, they might, I mean, a lot of them have been coming out to say it didn't happen, it didn't happen. Yes, we know, because it is when you get closer to someone, you will know, the things that, I mean, he is up and about,
Mm.
and then of course freedom of expression, that was there. And then of course I've talked about slavery and torture, and I've talked about sexual abuse, rape, abortion, even marriage, because once you become a disciple, you can't marry, so quite a lot of things, happen there that we should not sweep under the carpet. Even talking about the freedom of movement, even the one that talks about work and education. Because once you become a disciple, now, because I mean, listeners, please hear us. We are talking about disciples,
Mm.
the inner core, the workers that were very close. In fact, when you listen to Bisola's interview, she said some disciples don't even know so much as so there are levels,
Mm.
like Peter, John, James, and then of course you have the other disciples
People.
and all
Mm-hmm.
that, So we're talking about that, but in terms of the human rights violation, it was very high, and we should not sweep it under the carpet. I want to believe that even if PFN and CAN, I mean, because I don't think they've talked about it. Because one, then there is not their member, that church is not their member, but I believe they should be able to pinpoint, some areas,
Mm.
but then I think human rights and government should invite them, investigate. Now, yes, it has gone, on air. They should investigate and see what are the things that are happening now. Visit that place where the disciples are, bring them to be sure that these things, that I mean, have been investigated upon and they have been reported. Either they are true or they are not true. But obviously, we know that 99% of what they have submitted are life witnesses, and you could actually see, when they break down the things they said, you know that this one was not. Even yes, people are saying that why is it now? But if they really look at it, a lot of investigations had gone in even before he died.
Mm.
You understand? And then of course we've had quite a lot of people that have come out to talk. Bisola and so many other people that have come out to talk about, and all that. So your second question is what should we do about it, right?
Mm.
There are many touch points, Esther.
Okay.
I'll be coming from a Christian angle. These are things that they have been revealed.
Okay.
So for me is what are the lessons that we need to learn? So as somebody who loves God, one is an issue of, let's not talk about religion here. Let's talk about having a relationship with your maker, which is the Bible. I don't think, I'm not too sure, but I don't think in all the whatever, they never mentioned the fact that they opened the Bible or whatever to read, because these things are there in the Bible. And
Mm.
of course, it talks about by their fruits, you will know them. Yes, totally. You could get away with the name of Jesus, and all that. And that was why, the Bible is a balanced book, as far as I'm concerned. I always call it the best management book. If you want to live your life on this planet Earth, it is the Bible that will give you your management principles. He said that even on that day, people will come and say, I preached in your name. I prophesied in your name. I did miracles in your name. You understand? I did so many things in your name. And then Jesus says, sorry. I did so many things in your name. And then Jesus says, sorry, I don't know you. That is, you don't have any relationship with me.
Mm.
So it is the miracles that make people everyone. I had to go. I had to do a list of all kinds of pastors that have done atrocities. We talked about the pastor Ezekiel Edero. We talked about Jim Baker, Tony Alamo, Jimmy Swaggart. All kinds of things. Even Jim Jones of the Guyana. The People's Temple. And then of course we have Jesus Oyibo. All the things that they have done, and quite a lot of pastors. I can't just begin to mention it. That they do things. In fact, there was one recently. Maybe you saw it on social media. Crossover. The pastor had to raise his leg. You didn't see it. The pastor raised his leg and he now made his congregation, every one of them, to be like a goat, animal standing on four legs. They were now crawling and they were now crawling under his leg. So you will find out that a lot of action, a lot of brainwashing, had gone in the sense of religion. So for me, is that do not let anybody brainwash you.
Okay.
By their fruits you will know. You will know when somebody is harassing you, slapping you, torturing you, and all that. Yes, I know at that time they had been captives. But even when you first approach, you need to do investigation to say, okay, what is this? Do the things they do be in line with the word of God? But a lot of us don't read the Bible. We don't read that management book. So how do we know?
Hmm.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Bookie. The phone lines are open 07000 or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message 07031756537. Have you seen the documentary put together by the BBC on late Prophet TB Joshua? What do you think about it? Now I'm coming to you, Ibn Abo, on this one. So we're talking about my focus exactly is on the human rights violation and different atrocities that went on when it comes to religion. I like to say that Nigerians are very, very religious people. Very, very religious people. People would make excuses and give you different sides of the holy book, however they choose to um, understand it or explain it, which is actually fine. But again, Buki has mentioned it that know your maker for yourself, so nobody comes to tell you what is not. But what do you say about this particular church being handled by the wife? For what I know, for every time that we hear the name of that church, as long as it is still standing and still running, all we remember is the atrocities that have been perpetrated by, as put together in this
Thank you much, Esther. Call first. Let me say that when you look into the mirror,
okay.
like Boki said, let's let's put aside whether you're a Christian or a Muslim or traditionalist.
Mm-hmm.
We are human beings,
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
we understand what it takes to live on this earth, and we know that we're not animals, or should I say, lower animals, whereby uh, it is about the survival of the fittest.
Mm.
You understand? So when you look into the mirror, who do you see? Look into the mirror. Who is staring at you? What is your opinion of that face or whatever it is you are seeing in the mirror? Because you see, a lot of times we tend to, deceive ourselves. We tend to, live a lie that, oh, no, it's not like that. It's not this, it's not that. Fine. Now, the issue of this BBC documentary with the late Pastor TB Joshua, with everything, this has just been put together by BBC. The only new faces were the faces of um,
The survivors of the
those
different.
those foreigners. I call them foreigners.
Mm.
Those were not Nigerians.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But those other ones who are Nigerians have been talking about this
Absolutely.
even before the demise of the pastor.
Absolutely.
Now, I am not going to see,
Who works together or fabricated lies.
yes, but what I'm going to say is that, you see, when I saw this story, I just told myself, the Christendom, Christians, Christianity, everything is like you're sitting on a sinking hole.
Mm.
When you're on a sinking hole, you don't know what's going on underneath. But there will come a time, gradually you see, when you see a graph, the depression was not very visible. But next time you are seeing it, it is becoming very visible. It is gaining depth. Are you getting it?
Mm.
And nobody is doing anything about it. You don't know what is eating this underneath. Until one day, all the people standing on that particular part of the ground will sink into the hole. And you don't know the depth of the hole.
Mm-hmm.
The hole might be so deep that you can't even reach out to help yourself to come out of the hole. That is what I see when I look at stories like this.
Okay.
Like Boki said, there have been stories. There have been, this is not the first time people will come out and talk about, this pastor did this, that pastor did that.
No, nothing at all.
But what I'm not comfortable with is the fact that people keep saying he was not a member of CAN
Mm.
or PFN. You understand? See, these are the two major bodies that are overseeing the churches. So whether this church was your member or not, it is your responsibility. Because when you fill a form, they ask for your religion. You
Mm.
don't say I'm a Christian, I'm a celestial Christian. You don't say I'm a redeemed Christian. I'm a Christian, I'm a celestial Christian. You don't say I'm a redeemed Christian.
Mm.
You say you are a Christian. Nobody cares to know which
Denomination or
denomination
whatever.
you belong to.
Yeah.
So PFN and CAN should have should have weighed in on this matter while he was yet alive then. But I don't know what they did. Maybe they did so much, but it wasn't very clear to people. It seems as if it was swept under the carpet. This sometimes you see people are different. Sometimes when people are saying something about it, it's like, what? They are lying. I mean, I don't have the strength to argue with them. Was that the case concerning TB Joshua? Or was it that he called their bluff like, well, and so what? And go to court, like that people will say.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so at the end of the day, this thing keeps eating and eating the very foundation of Christianity in Nigeria. And the people who are supposed to be the gatekeepers, who are supposed to be the overseers of this religion, are just plain ignorant to all of this, which is absolutely wrong. Because you see, as a Christian, you go about evangelizing. You want to evangelize to people, you want to preach Christ to people, you want to tell them how much love, the church has, and this and that. And here's a young person who has just watched this video. What do you think will be the mindset of that person? Because if you feel that you're not a member of that church, so it doesn't concern you, it concerns you. If you're a Christian, it concerns you. If you're not a Christian, it concerns you. Because first, we are human beings before we chose our religions. So anyone doing anything, under the guise of your religion or your position, under the guise of your religion or your position in your religion, you're not practicing that religion. You are just religion. You're not practicing that religion. You are just exhibiting who you are as a human being. And if that is not addressed, it is a huge problem. Where are we headed? Because how could this much younger when she came out to tell us about her very gory experiences while she was there?
2008.
You see, was about that should be about
How many years now?
about 18 years.
It's just so no, it's not up to 18.
That's 16.
16 years.
16 years, okay. Okay, 2008, okay, yes, 16 years. And nothing. Nobody took it up. Nobody, at least if she was lying, you understand? Let there be clarity. Let somebody.
Even she documented it.
Yes.
She documented it in a book. Yes,
And
documented it in a book.
And nothing. You see, sometimes you see this thing as,
and it's not just Busola, sorry to say. Years ago, this man, at the tour, whatever it is, Olariwoye,
Kolawole,
Olawuyi.
Nkombe.
Yes, I even exposed quite a lot. I mean, in those days, but you see, you understand? But the truth about it is, Okonwa,
Okay, so
we need to talk about even the human rights issue. Even if it's just the human rights issue, let's even deal with that. Let's leave the issue of Christian or whatever it is, because like Ibn Abbas said, we are primarily first a human being.
yes.
Because when God created us, He created us as a human being. There was no religion at that time, but He had a sense of. That was why, I mean, for those who read the management book, the Bible, it thought that in the evening He came to come and have fellowship with them,
Yes.
and they were hiding. Who told you has sinned and all that? But you see, so it was. Look at the human rights. We talk about torture. We talk about brainwashing. You understand? You talk about lies. You talk about rape. I mean, in the story, almost every night, it's every night, not almost every night, he must do it. And of course, he's talking about pedophiles, little children. I was even stunned when I had the issue of the 8-year-old. I was stunned when I had the issue of the three siblings. I had it at that time, but now it's just coming that, oh my God, and we never said anything.
Okay, so I was having a conversation with, let me call this person an older citizen. And was saying that there has been different accounts of different people giving experiences and saying different things about this particular founder before he passed on. And that now this is being put together. He's just liking to putting all of these different accounts together. Now, do we say that this thing has gone on for so long because as a society we're choosing to turn a blind, and like you said, these different associations, because he is not a member, they just turned a blind eye. I can understand when it comes to religion. Some people will say, oh, I don't want to be the one to speak. I don't want to be the one to bail the cat because just what if I start my advocacy alone, nobody will support me. And we live in a society whereby people can easily just throw you under the bus. And even sometimes you have some conversation with people, and you think that when you come out in the open to say the same thing, they'll support you. And lie, you will come out and shout alone.
You see, just like you have been saying, when just you know what I tell people, keeping quiet, or you have chosen to walk on eggshell around very serious issues. What if that was your business? What if you put an organization together and that is your means and source of livelihood, and some other people are making, their own source of livelihood from your organization, and you are having such big issues? Would you have kept quiet? And we have so many human, you see, acts at the right time, as at when due, and take action, like our children will say, as it they hot. We begin to look at you that are you really practicing what you claim is your profession? I'm a human rights activist. Are you a human rights activist? Because I don't think that if Buki had seen the video, I saw it, and so many other millions of Nigerians saw it, are you saying that none of our human rights activists saw the video? I'm not talking about this current video now. I'm not even referring to this BBC video. I'm looking at the ones
From
that was,
before.
yes,
Before.
because if that had been dealt with, I don't think there will be need for this BBC compilation.
Okay.
Or even if it came about at all, it would be like, maybe they have discussed this thing. These are issues that have been dealt with and everything. But it was left like that.
Yeah.
Nobody did anything.
I think this was just to reinforce it and then
Yes,
bring
if anything
foreigners.
was done, it was done under the ground,
Mm.
not on the surface, because there was, you can't just pick up anything. The only thing you are getting right now are accounts from,
The survivors.
like, and some people, in life, the Bible will say, "Tó bá kọjú sẹ́yàn kan, ó kọ̀ pàkọ́ sẹ́lòmíì."
Mhm.
As a human being, we're not monsters, so we have our eyes on our faces.
Mhm.
So if I'm facing you, Esther, definitely I'm backing
You can't-
something
definitely.
something else.
Mhm.
So we should not always faces.
Mhm.
So if I'm facing you, Esther, definitely I'm
You
backing
can't-
something
definitely.
something else.
Mhm.
So we should not always say, okay, this thing is not facing me. So even though you
None
are
of my
seeing
business.
the pako, you are seeing of the head.
They're even
You are-
feeling it. They're
You
even feeling
understand? You are
somebody's-
feeling it and you are keeping quiet. Because, okay, let's assume that. Let us even assume that all these accounts were all cooked up.
Okay.
How do you think the soul of TB Joshua would feel? That only me now allow this kind of fat lie on top.
And then Kpagu
You understand?
And another thing
That is
again,
why it is imperative that action must be taken.
They must
They
investigate.
must investigate. You cannot just throw it away like that. Well, that is how it is. Time will take care of it. The dust will settle. Everybody will find their level. It's not fair, because it will all, like Esther said. Now that it is a documentary, and remember that every moment, every time, technology gets better.
of course.
Every time you're yes.
Mhm.
So you see, this information that is all out there now, it is not enough for us out and say that, no, I had a different experience. No, I had a different experience. My experience with the late man was this, was so sweet. It was bliss. This was so sweet. It was bliss, bliss, bliss. We need the truth.
Yeah.
What actually happened? What are the evidence that you have
Okay.
to corroborate what you have said? And professionals will wait it. We can't just see.
And
It should concern Mr. President.
yeah,
Of course, it's a national issue at this point.
Because I
really.
remember when there was a collapse of the building,
Yeah.
the then President Jonathan visited the place.
Yeah.
So this is a national issue because it involves other people from other countries.
yeah.
And already, Nigeria, see, the
Our image is
the
second
image of
already.
Nigeria is in trouble.
Absolutely.
It's like you are just criminals on every side. When it comes to fraud,
Una dey there.
on a day on top of it. When it comes to human trafficking, on a no get pay. We have to works of some Nigerians are being mad by all of these stories. Take for instance now, somebody who attends a church and the pastor is a very caring person. He's always, I used to know I do know a pastor who is, that is his nature.
Mm.
Hello, how are, he believes that once he's doing that, it's calming you down. You
Mhm,
know, touch,
mhm,
the power of touch.
mhm, mhm.
But tell me, after this video,
I will stop.
it should stop because it will be misinterpreted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
So you see, it's going to affect even those who are just being nice, those who are just
You
being
see,
loving.
for people who even I've seen some people and the different accounts. Some people have said that, and no, when this person was alive, this person was really loving. And I like to tell people that my experience with you, Ibinabo, is not the same thing as mine with Book. We
Absolutely.
don't have the same relationship with people.
Yes.
See, sometimes when somebody tells me, Esther, I think you can be a certain way, I'm like, yes, now so you take bring yourself to me too.
And
That's the
that's
way I take
why
it too.
I said, he has a lot of followers.
Yes.
I understand 50,000 if I'm right. I'm right. So a lot of them, over 99.9% of the followers will argue
Yeah.
that what we are saying is wrong. Because why? I mean, charity, if you look at his humble beginning, it will be the one that will feed everybody. It will be the one that will go into the restroom and clean the toilets and things like that. So he was in love and was the toilets and things like that. So he was in love and he was a giver. You understand? Set up people, give them money, scholarship and things like either it's fake or real, I don't know. You
Another thing.
understand? But you see that 0.1 or whatever percent, the people that are close to him, that is what we are talking about. That people will mention on this BBC thing. And I want people to look at it objectively.
Okay.
BBC Africa, iAfrica, is it BBC iAfrica?
BBC Africa.
Africa, yeah. If you see what they have done, let us trace it from the sex for grade.
Okay.
He made the nation, I mean the nation, the government and everybody sit up had gone in. I remember the issue of the syrup. I don't know if it's codeine or something, that people were taking and all that.
Okay.
They did an investigation around it as well, and it made a lot of reforms. So let's look at it objectively. We are talking about human rights violation. So let them also look at it because it is very clear. You are talking about rape because I wrote everything down. Rape, torture, forced abortion, fear, hypnotism, mind control, manipulation. He loves to control, anger. He's always slapping people. You understand? Brainwashing. You understand? To the extent, they said, everybody, all his disciples, before they go to bed, he will call. You have to call to say, Papa or something, I'm going to bed. I say, okay. You understand? And then if you want
And you
to
cannot
pee, yeah, you cannot be caught sleeping. You understand? So if people do not sleep, you understand, for the necessary time,
it takes a
your mind is messed up.
it is.
You understand?
It
Your
is.
mind is messed up. So on the issue of human rights, though there was another one that I saw that okay, that maybe it's a psychopath. I had to go and check who is psychopath. And honestly, it suits it because we need to look at these things. There are some people that are, because I had to look at it, disregarding or violating the rights of others, which he did. Inability to discriminate between right and wrong. He didn't know regarding or violating the rights of others, which he did. Inability to discriminate between right and wrong. He didn't know. You understand? He was doing it, and he didn't have, that consciousness to say what I'm doing is wrong. How can you be raping people like, you understand? Behavior that conflicts with social norms, difficulty with showing remorse or empathy, and that came up when that building collapsed because I was in there. He just came. You could see that there was no remorse. He just came and gave us one juju that one helicopter was round and round. So, but what did you do? I understand he did not even attend the sitting at all. You understand? So the people that were close to him, we had it that he bribed everybody. You understand? And then lying, manipulating, and hurting others, recurring problems with the law. They talked about the effect of the all these drug peddlers, that he was their spiritual father. So they said, you understand? And then the issue of this building, nothing, did they hold him? Nothing.
So still on this one,
So
Malokachi sent
human
a message
rights,
here.
yeah.
Malokachi says it would have made a lot of sense to me if the BBC report was released while the pastor in charge was still alive. Why make so much allegations against a man who cannot defend himself in the physical realm? Even God Himself allowed Adam and Eve to defend themselves in the Garden of Eden before finally pronouncing judgment on them. As far as I'm concerned, the absence of TB Joshua renders the entire report valueless and insignificant. Things must be done properly and in order.
I believe if you look at that, the
Mm.
investigation had been concluded, or there was something at that place that shortly after the investigation had been concluded, or there was something at that place that shortly after the investigation,
I think
that was
they were
when
still in the process.
they were still in the
Yes,
process.
when
Yeah, to know. It's an issue of perspective, and I think we need to make people see the things in the proper perspective.
okay.
We are not talking about, you know, TB Joshua is dead. He cannot come out to say, okay, it's true or it's lying, except if the wife, you know, or the so-called trustees, if he had,
Okay.
can say, I collaborate this. But obviously, the people they have gone to meet in the church said false allegation. That's normal.
Mm.
And that was why I cited examples of many people that have done
Different accounts.
Okay.
atrocities.
Okay,
You understand?
sorry to
But
interject.
yeah.
I saw now because I looked for a lot of videos,
Okay.
Mm,
and I saw a video of a particular guy, I think from Greece.
mm,
So he actually he debunked everything, but there was one he held on to that. That was that
was
was
true.
true. The
Okay.
fact that they were not sleeping,
Mm.
they were not having enough sleep
Okay.
and all that. I said, even if it's only that
That
one,
one.
It's a problem in itself.
Human
because
rights.
because now one of them
It's a
had
human right violation.
one of them had admitted that okay, in all of the allegations, so
Mm.
this one that they were not
Yeah.
sleeping. So that is it still ongoing? Because you
Yeah.
see, now we're talking about what I mean, people's account of what they of the experience they had.
Mm.
There are still people there.
Yeah. Let's investigate.
Are they still not allowing them to have enough sleep? Because sleep is your life.
Yeah.
If you
It
don't
is.
sleep, if you lose sleep regularly, it can create anything in your body. It
A
can
lot
it
of
can
problem.
it can
Yes.
kick off
And are
anything
they
in
still
your
in
health.
slavery? Because once you become a disciple, you don't work, you don't earn salary, you don't do anything.
You're always
Which
within
is
the premises
which
and
is
all.
a right of violation. You understand that you don't have salary, you cannot
But
keep an account and all that.
I think that
We need
that
to
is a choice.
investigate.
That is a choice.
Okay.
Why do you? What I mean, people. You see, let's look at ourselves, Nigerians.
Okay.
Now, there's this thing about us, and if you lay it down on the table, you'll see that it is this character we must try and do away with it.
Okay.
This kind of character that we go after things that we feel that these things are above us. So whoever has it, you are Oba.
Mm.
Oba no they fade. Oro no they fade.
Mhm.
Oba no they go transfer.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Once any church,
Mm.
once you have periods where you perform miracles, whether the miracles are real or not,
Mhm.
people go begin the
Of course,
they go dey
this,
throng
that,
that place.
that's
You
normal.
understand? Nobody tries to look deeper than
To
okay, what's
investigate
going
what
on?
is going on, what's the source.
What am I going in for?
Mm.
So if that is a bait, who do you blame? I blame the people.
Absolutely, you blame the people, but you see, in this case, there was mind control, manipulation.
Okay.
Do
You
you
understand?
know that mind control takes time? Let us tell our people.
Yes.
Mm.
You see,
It-
as
it-
you
yes.
cannot just walk up to me and begin to control my mind.
Oh,
I will
absolutely.
control my mind.
I will give. Absolutely.
I will give it to you to control.
No.
So
Yeah,
why should
totally
I give
agree.
you my mind to control?
Yeah.
Nigerians don't read.
Mm.
Nigerians don't. When I say Nigerians don't read, it doesn't mean that it doesn't know. US I don't know. I don't read.
Mm.
But the majority of Nigerians don't read. They even if you carry paper say sign, maybe the body of the old letter is we are going to kill you tomorrow.
Mm.
Instead of reading through so that you know exactly what
So
What
just
you are
pick,
going
pick a
into.
part of it.
yes,
And run
Yeah.
and the
with it.
next thing
And
decide.
so I think that's a lesson.
So
you know.
yes,
we need
for similar allegations from former members, former disciples. What did the government, the bodies of PFN what did they do?
Oh my God.
So we
What
have
did
a
they do?
message here. We have a message here. This one says,
Ah,
"Good morning, WFM. I'm Precious from Ikeja. On the issue of TB Joshua, have always had some sense of that in his ministry because most of his members I know idolized him. At first, I had issues with BBC releasing the video after his demise, but when I went through old videos of people calling me out, then I knew the issues were not just attended to because there were individuals without voices.
yes.
Now that it is coming from the BBC, people are now having problems with it. This one is coming from Precious.
This is still part of
Yes.
our problem.
Mm.
You must be big to be
From
given
people can just-
attention. Yes.
Yeah.
If somebody lives in your community, if he doesn't have money, even if he has the best of ideas, nobody
will
wants to listen.
Mm-mm.
But let him come.
Whatever, people will clap and hail the person.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is part of the problem that we have as Nigerians. We are quick. It's
Colonial
not,
mindset.
Yes, it is not only we're talking about TV Joshua and they're saying that they idolize him and everything.
He's not the only one.
People idolize their pastors.
Yeah, it's not the only
That
one.
was another
And then there's
conspiracy
another
theory.
angle
Ah.
to this story,
Mm.
which I should give it to him, sort of, in court,
Okay.
because he knew what he wanted. He wanted that global space,
Recognition.
and he knew his onions. I mean, in terms of marketing and all that, and strategy, that he worked on technology, to ensure and he ensured that shots of the video to promote him. He was investing in technology and all that, so he knew what he was into. And he had known that you people, when you see this thing, you will come. That was what made all the foreigners to come. That where is this? I am
You see,
going.
Bookie,
You understand?
everybody
and
is looking for miracles.
and then it's not just that. He also ensured that personalities, dignitaries, presidents,
Recognized
when
with
they
everything.
come,
Mm.
you give them my talk. And then he used that also to say, so that is why at times I sit back, I say it will be difficult. It will take somebody who is ready, to
To
crush,
break down, yeah.
to say, you know what, I am coming after you. And probably that is why a lot of people, before he died, they talked and we are saying that why didn't they do anything? But I think with this, I want to tell human rights, the government, from that angle, they should investigate.
All right.
And if it's
Thank
true,
you.
because we need to spare the other people that are there. Who
Now
knows
we
what
are
is
we are
going
talking
on?
about we don't have time
And it's
again.
not just
But we are
him,
talking about
but
we are
across.
discussing TV Joshua.
across
Who has transitioned.
Mhm.
yes.
What about the ones that we have?
That's
are
what I'm
still alive,
saying. That's what I'm saying.
that are probably still
Investigation
perpetrating
across.
acts like this.
Yes.
And people continue to idolize them. They
Yes.
come to the public, they give all the love, everything.
Where there's sex, there's rape. I mean, we've seen quite a lot. What happened?
Well, we'll keep talking really till we see the change there. I mean, wrapping up in all, I would just say that people just need to understand for themselves what they want to get out of their spirituality, whatever religion it is. Understand it for yourself. Nobody, you get some kind of way people meet me, tell me say, far run this one shoot them. Like you won't even have me to face with first. But we just need to be able to understand that regardless of whatever situation you find yourself, don't be so vulnerable that anything that anybody tells you, you don't even think about it. That sometimes I'm in church and somebody says something, I'm like, "Mm, okay, no, voila." People will clap, but I'm just thinking, what was that supposed to be? But all the same, I mean, we live in a society whereby people really need to think and come to a realization that in as much as we have religious leaders, these people are first humans and they're not infallible. We need to know that as well. Thank you so much, Ibinabo, and thank you, Buki, for coming into the studio today. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
All right, it's a wrap on Panorama today. All right, it's a wrap on Panorama today. Do well to join us again tomorrow at 5 minutes past 9 as we discuss, accept, and disagree on topical issues. At 10 a.m., we'll bring you Radio Doctor, your free health consultation program where real doctors advise real people. My name is Esther Alaride. Good morning.
To sponsor this program,
Hi, Madam Sharon. You can speak.
point one six oh
Did you show you?
76 Mr. Johnson, I'm
Hmm?
here for my money.
Did you show you what to do?
No, so I'm just trying to say there's like a stop sign here.
I've been
At this
telling you to ensure
No,
the
it
health
hasn't.
of you and your family.
But you were there with him. You didn't ask him.
Which of them can I go for?
I
You just
explained
sent me a message.
HMO Limited. They are one
Hold
of
on.
the accredited
What is
health
this?
maintenance organizations
Oh,
with
you just
thousands of
popped up
quality
now.
and
I can't
accredited
just
healthcare providers nationwide on their network.
Sharon.
They have corporate plans